In Jamaica, we have the highest rate of prostate cancer in the world per capita. It's alarming to me.
Yes, it is.
For our women, breast cancer, uterine and ovarian cancer, they are really, really getting out of hand. As you know, I've often said cancer is not a microbial organism. It is just the body out of balance. It's not a germ, it's a disorder. This is really when the body is out of balance, out of harmony. We must learn that the foods that we eat will throw our system out of balance. And these are some of the things that we're going to be discussing.
This evening we'll be talking about correcting cancer. Here is one woman's story.
One Sunday I came home from church and I went to the bathroom and I started feeling out my breast, something I've never done because breast cancer is not in my family. So I felt I could not have it. And when I felt the lump, you know, I was alarmed. I went over to the other breast. I felt there was no lump there like that one. Came back to the lump.
2 weeks prior, Carmen's father had died. And still dealing with the tragedy, she was now confronted with the possibility of breast cancer. Amidst the turmoil, her faith in God provided the comfort as she contemplated whether or not to visit the doctor for a professional diagnosis.
I didn't even want to go to the doctor. It was a cousin of mine who forced me.
The doctor confirmed her fears, and a mammogram and an ultrasound revealed the need for urgent biopsy. She did too.
In fact, the type of cancer was one known as adenocarcinoma, and it was said to be also metastatic. Metastatic meaning that it has spread from somewhere, or itself is in a position to be spreaded, in this case likely via the lymphatic system.
The result was not good. Carmen had an aggressive cancer which spreads rapidly, hence the need for immediate mastectomy, removal of her right breast, her best option.
When I left the hospital, my husband said to me, you're not doing any more surgery, you know, I'm taking you straight to Mr. Emanuel. Okay. So I obeyed.
So Carmen and her husband went to visit naturopathic physician for more than 40 years, Ted Emanuel, now practicing in Jamaica. Emanuel has been successful with a number of cancer patients in Jamaica and overseas. As a result, when Carmen visited his office, he was humbled by the opportunity to assist another client suffering from cancer. In Carmen's case, breast cancer. Carmen was placed on a strict and comprehensive program comprising brown rice, sea vegetables, herbal teas, vitamin supplements, rest and exercise. All this to bring the body into balance.
The way you eat, the way you drink, everything about your diet, complete, everything. You do things differently than how you'd normally do it. Like eating, when I started the program, eating took me like 2 hours because he's saying that, you know, you have to chew your food properly.
A comprehensive understanding of the blood is critical to the success of Emanuel's program. Hence, his 4-phase dietary program is structured with this in mind. In phase 1, detoxification, purification, and harmonization of both red and white blood cells occur. Phase 2 entails the making and nurturing of these new blood cells, while in phase 3 they are nourished and strengthened. In the final phase, the focus is on maintenance, which incorporates the preceding phases. In August 2004, Carmen went on the 4-phase program, and 9 weeks later, the litmus test of her efforts would be known.
It was then that I told him that I was concerned. Just coming to him, I wanted to go back to a medical doctor to see what was going on in my body. And that is when the doctor sent me to do these tests.
When she went to collect the result from one of her doctors who had recommended the removal of her breast, Carmen was too afraid and asked the doctor to read the report. The result?
I know no sign of breast cancer.
Every so often, individuals are told to change their diet when they get sick. But while they're told what to eat, little is said of how the food should be prepared.
Well, today we're going to do a number 7 program. Number 7 is the foundation of all our 4-part series of our diet. Now, as you see, he's cutting the onions and he's making sure that they're not too thinly cut which is important to lock in not just flavor, but some of the delicate ingredients, nutrients.
Does that help with its medicinal value?
Yes, because it's very important. Onions, a lot of people don't know. They can be most healthy or helpful. We use onions in just about anything we do.
And squash not many people eat squash.
Well, squash is also very important because they're high in minerals, they're high in vitamins, and we use them not just for the nutritional properties or value, but also for color. Color here is very important in functioning the meal, making it more so appetizing.
Appealing to the person.
Yes, yes, yes.
Right. Yeah. And pumpkin now, I know it's a family of the squash, isn't it?
Well, yes.
So it has the same nutritional value.
Yes, but if you notice, pumpkin, you find a pumpkin is large,
yes.
More expansive. The smaller squash, we doing like a yin-yang type thing with both of them. And at the same time, pumpkin is very nutritious, especially the skin of the pumpkin, which most people will throw away. They peel the pumpkin and throw it away. Here we use everything, just about everything. Okay? This is bell pepper.
Bell pepper, what is that good for?
Pepper is very high in vitamin C and minerals. We're using it for not just flavor, but for color.
So today we'll be talking about diabetes, and Rashima, you know, Jamaica has a high statistic of diabetes.
But the thing that we don't know if it's hereditary or if it's from the food that we eat.
Yes.
But let's find out. Let's talk health with Ted Emanuel.
Diabetes is very easy to correct, even though some people out there, especially medical doctors, may disagree with me. But we do that all the time at our center. Okay? No one should be a diabetic for more than 30 to 120 days. No one.
Really?
Yes.
That's interesting.
And it's just knowing, understanding the energetic properties of the foods we eat.
Yes.
So if you understand the energy of, say, callaloo, because they mix it up for you and stuff it in an envelope of dough, which is also flour, which is acid. You don't know what is in there, right? And you're eating this so-called callaloo, thinking that you're getting what
the nutrients
that you should get. You might end up in trouble. Food is life. Food is energy. Food is intelligence. And without it, sickness can never be definitively cured or corrected. So we use food to reverse diabetes. Diabetes will attack from your mouth to your anus. Every organ, every gland. So, firstly, the stomach is involved here. The stomach correlates with the pancreas and the spleen, you see. So when you have a behavior where you eat late at night, and foods are not digested, you are actually undermining not just the stomach, but the entire digestive process, the digestive system. Are you with me? Yeah. So, firstly, we must chew the food properly to ensure that once the food gets into the stomach is not overburdened with unmasticated food.
So it's easy to just
It's easier to pass on and pass to the duodenum food. And then the small intestine, then the large intestine, then back to the liver. Are you with me? Okay? And from the liver to the gallbladder, and from the gallbladder to the adrenal glands, then to the kidneys, and so forth and so on. With diabetes, circulation is always poor. That's why we encourage people to exercise, no matter what it is. Now, today we'll be doing a series of exercises to stimulate the 12 major meridians. These meridians, they are connected to the various organs and glands. For instance, this technique is for the lungs, for oxygenation. oxygen, without it, the heart won't work. And without the heart working, then the kidneys and bladder and all the other organs, they do very poorly. Okay? We try our very best to make these simple as possible. So anybody can follow. They're not strenuous. Okay? Some, if you're not flexible, it might create a problem, but at the same time, they're very easy.
So how is this helpful to diabetics?
Okay, this particular technique is for the stomach and the spleen. Very important. Okay? The spleen, they're partners. They help the digestive system, and at the same time, the spleen is what helps in insulin production. Okay. So this particular technique is very important.
Oriental Diagnosis is something which, when people hear about it, they are wondering if it's obvious. No, what is Oriental Diagnosis?
Now, the skin is the mirror of the inner. That's one way. But also, one's height. The body must be 1/7, meaning you should get 7 times the size of your head in the entire body.
Wow.
So if you're getting 6, you're short, right? If you're getting 7.5, you're too tall. So one can really be too tall or too short. We divide the body into 3 parts, 3 zones: the upper, the middle, and the lower.
All right.
Right side, left side. Right side, mother side, genetically speaking.
Are you as accurate as an X-ray?
I am more accurate than an X-ray.
Wow, no, that confidence is...
I am more accurate than an X-ray, even though we recommend the person go and have X-ray done. It's not for me, it's to satisfy the patient. You see? So working with the patient is actually working with the patient's doctor, which is very important. Most naturalists, they don't want to deal with the medical side of it. But I find that is not in best interest of the patient. So I work with the patient and I have them go and have X-ray done, I have them go and do urinalysis, electrocardiogram test done, and so forth. Even though in Oriental Diagnosis, as long as you're well trained, you make no mistakes.
Firstly, what does the skin do? I know we all have skin and we all like to show our skin more than others, but what exactly is the function of the skin?
Well, the skin is one of the most valuable organs we have on the human body. One, it regulates our body's temperature. It protects against dust particles, bacteria, the sun rays, etc. It is the closest partner to our internal organs and glands. So we ought to be paying more attention to this thing they call the skin, this organ they call the skin. It's not as easy as most people in the cosmetic industry are making it to be.
Let me take you back to acne.
Yes.
You're saying that acne is systemic.
Acne is a systemic disorder and must be handled that way. That's the only way you will correct acne, is systemically. You must watch what you eat. There is no cream that can correct acne. None.
Wow.
If anyone says that, you challenge them, because this is false. Acne is a systemic disorder and is corrected that way only.
So that would relate to all skin disorders?
Most skin disorders are created by excess.
Okay, which is
it's a
coming
systemic,
from
yes, it's systemic.
What about skin
same
cancer,
thing with,
though?
Same thing with dry skin. It is systemic. Sure, atmospheric conditions, will play quite a role. If you work in an air-conditioned place where it's really cold, or you're working outside where it's windy, those things will affect the skin.